Alexander, Hypon Experience and Easy Rollers, and this is my breakdown of my remix of DJ Beeno's Chained. There you are, managed to get that one started. What am I going to do? Well, this DJ Beeno's Chained, this is a new tune. It's not some tune from 30 years ago that I've had to bring up to date. So what I'm going to do is I listen to what he's done and think, what can I remix? So this, what you're looking at here in red, this is his tune, and we're going to go through this, and I'm going to tell you what I think about it and how I approach it. Let's just go through it. So you've got a melody with a beat. All right, then what happens? So that's a melody with another beat, and then goes, what happens here? So when I heard that, so obviously that's that wonderful vocal, chain vocal. When I heard that, I thought, yeah, that's not a bad way of doing it, but I think, because that vocal's so classic and so beautiful, you could do that another way. So that's my first idea, is to present that vocal in another way. Right, what happens now? What's next? So drum and bass drops. So I just think there's lots of good ideas so far. I just don't feel they've been presented in a simple to understand way. I think it's in a very good modern rave style. Nothing wrong with that. Just, well, what can I do? Well, I can present them differently. So that's the full vocal over drum and bass, isn't it? And I use the term drum and bass in its loose term, not 172, but drums and bass. Okay, breakdown to piano, lovely. Piano with string and subtone, vocals being flown in, nothing wrong with that. But let's have a quick look at the arrangement. So that's 16 drums, 16 of that's 32 intro to breakdown with vocal and beat, drop into drums and bass and vocal, then go into vocal. That's 1, 2, so that's 64 before the piano comes in. Lovely. What's next? Lovely. So then it's the beat and the vocal rather than just the bass and the vocal. Very good. And now we've got a lovely mentasm. As soon as you've got a mentasm sound, you've got loads and loads of options. So that's as far as I'm concerned, I could clarify the vocal. I could do something different with the mentasm, and that's how I started. So let's get rid of this. No, this. Let's look at what I did then. Oh, what's happening now? There you go. Right. Let's go check that's not going to play. No, it's not. So we've got a 32 intro, but also I'm just going to start this up because I checked that wasn't running. I'm such a potato. Let's go back, hide it, come back, start it. Right, let's start with some real basics. I don't know why I did this intro like that. It's just I had when I make these tunes, I make up loads and loads of sections of tunes of ideas that might eventually go in there. And I had this, and obviously you could use this as a bridge, but I was never able to make that work. So let me just show you how I did that trick as well. This sorrow, I love doing this. So what I do is, let me just get this up here, bring this down. So let's bring out the original sample. So it's going to be this. Sorrow. What I do is I take that and then I cut it. Let's just do this. I want that to be about like 1 bar, maybe there. So I take that and then I generally double the size of that. I've done that wrong, haven't I? So it should stop that. Sorry, I'm doing this on the fly. It isn't working for me. Let's just do this. No, I want the whole sorrow. This is what happens when you don't rehearse. No. I'm going to change what I'm doing. Actually, let's go to here. What do we have? That much, which is 1, 2, 3. 3 blocks. That wants to be. I'm just going to do it that way. Let's just do it that way. So I stretch this out. And then I cut that in half and I stretch it again. Whoops. I mean, I've messed this up, but you'll get the basic idea. And I'll just keep on doing that until it ends up being really weird. And that's what I like. There we go. So let's see what that sounds like now. It freaks out, doesn't it? And another bonus trick I do a lot, so I make that into one big sexy lump, like me, and then I will, come on. Wow, Logic's been a little rascal this morning. Come on, come on. Use a good Logic. And I make that pitch down. So it goes like this. And so I do tricks like that, and then loads and loads of delay. So that's a trick I use quite a lot. But can't go wrong there. Okay, so now we've got like my intro. So I'm holding the key of the tune around that low pad, and I'll tell you the reason for using that low pad in a second. Send him to the cemetery. So here's that. What is this? Sort of like the Mentasm, but it's not. All right, let's just keep going. Oh, here's some Mentasm. Let's go and see. Just have a look at what I'm doing here. I know I did some fancy pants thing. So for some reason, I've obviously delayed this and thought I really want to muck around with this. Oh, you're not going to see it like this. Let's switch into big effect. And maybe can I zoom in on this? Does this do anything? Yes. So I've obviously made some sample up. Can I do? No, I can't. I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to bother with that. So, but you can see I've sampled. I've made up a Mentasm sound. Hey, what's this? It's not this, is it? And I've added delay to that. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what that's doing. Stop that. Stop that. Do that. What's this? I didn't use this one. What does this one do? Yeah, it's not something I use. It's quite interesting, though, isn't it? Anyway, why am I diverging? I am rambling. So yeah, I've got some pitchy uppy stuff going on with the Mentasm. I quite like that. I could have maybe compressed that so that was a bit more apparent. And there's some legato glide going on, which I quite like. Interesting. All right, so now we start to realise why I've got that low pad sounding. So if you listen, this was me making the point. Oh, we've got some weird filtery stuff. Let's play around with that. Oh, I wanted to talk about something else, but I'm going to talk about that. Is there any more? So what's going on with this filter? Obviously, everyone loves a bandpass filter trick. And panning, is this the pan? No, it's filter frequency modulation. We've got pan as well. Show me pan. Oh, pan man's on. Oh, it's auto panning. That's why. It's auto pan. Pan man. I use this a lot actually for these panning effects. This is Sound Toys Pan Man. Let's just bring this up while we're doing that. It's really good because you can choose how long it stops at the end, like smoothing and stuff. So it'll just jump across. So that's really easy to use, and you can offset it, and you've got width controls. And I'm using mod derp. What is this? Modulation depth on what? I don't know. I don't know. Let's find out. I can't just say I don't know. Oh, here we go. Mod depth. Obviously going to some sort of envelope tracking stuff, which is fine. Fab. This is quite good. The reason I use Filter Freak is because it's so easy. It's so easy and it sounds good and it's really straightforward. It's a bandpass filter. So it sounds good, it's easy to use, and it integrates with my system really, really well. One massive negative to Sound Toys is, two. One, you can't resize the user interface. And all these, a lot of these buttons, oh, bother, what have I done? Compare. Oh, bother, compare. A lot of the buttons are very hard to press. Little tiny buttons and stuff. And look at that one there on here on this. Look at this, having to get into that. There's only about 4 pixels. So that's annoying, and you can't resize the UI. But apart from that, they sound good. So, 6 of one, half dozen of another. And I've automated some sort of filter. I know I'm rambling. I have had 2 coffees already. What is it, 10:15? Lovely. So yeah, so we've all done it. We've modulated bandpass filters across drum breaks, etc. Go. Reverse vocal. This is why we have. So I wanted to make a massive statement about the vocal. Let's have a listen to that vocal just on its own a sec. You don't love me now. You will never love so that's occupying its own frequency. And if you have anything like those mentasm sounds, or piano, if you have anything that's taking those frequencies, it's going to take away from the vocal. So you put a pad in that's underneath all of that. Super low, super deep, just that going on, and there's loads of space for that vocal to sit in there. Bring the vocal in. You don't love me now. You will never love me shit, again. I'm online. I can still hear you saying you will never break the chain. Oh. You don't love me now. Chat, I didn't realise I was streaming. I'm on a roll, so I'm not going to stop. Guys, I'll chat in a minute. I'm doing a YouTube video. Sorry about that. Oh, that's thrown me now. I'll have to download it, then upload it. Who cares? I'm carrying on. So my thought was make a whole point out of that vocal. And we've got some deep things going on and some 808s. You don't love me now. You will never love me so we created this big atmospheric breakdown, and that's all very, very lovely. Very nice. Right, I've been a little bit thrown because I thought I was recording and I'm actually streaming. It happens. What happens? So we go into that. Let's just go for that breakdown once more. So I mean, you know what it's like when you go to those raves and you want that sort of hands in the air, sort of want to feel that vocal, and that's what I really was hoping to achieve with this breakdown. So that's setting the pace. Reverse vocal effects. And if you don't love me now, you will never love me just some low end, holding that vocal down. Bring in some melody in the bass. Lovely. So you've done the breakdown now. We've got to bridge to the drop. Bring back the mentasm and a kick drum and little effects vocals. So I'm dropping to just drums and bass. And it's really being held by the 808. Interesting. Yeah, lovely. I really like that. Really like that. Let's go for it. There's quite a lot going on there. Let's just have a quick look at what's going on. Yeah. So, I mean, you think you want to keep something simple. Keep it like Amen drums that are nice and punchy, 808s that just thunder through. Just everyone just loves that. I mean, I love that. I want to play this out because it's just got that in it. Let's just see what this is. So I wanted to put some distortion on there. So I'm just going to go, actually, I'm going to bring that up. We were on -9.5. So I've gone ahead and what have I done here? Let's just have a quick look at what I've done there. This is my bass enhancement channel strip. That's very good. H-comp's very good because it's good at doing compression without hearing the compression. So just tickling it, slow attack, slow release, just don't muck about it. But this Magma BB is probably giving a saturate or not being shy with that. I whacked up the sensitivity and just smashed it. So that's what's providing the, it's not too bad actually. I quite like that. Then we've got Fat Effects, which is the Logic's own plugin. I'm adding more distortion. Let's add some more just for fun. Anyway, I don't know why I'm doing that compared to what it was like before. So I'm just layering that in. And Track Spacer, this is a sidechain EQ ducker. Very, very handy. Instrument 18, I'm going to guess that's instrument 18. So the 808 is ducking out the bass. This is stopping phase problems and low-end saturation, flooding problems. So the 808 is taking the 808 frequencies out of the layered low mid bass. And this is a software plugin called Trackspace. It's very, very, very good. You can also use Soothe. That's very good. What's this one here? There's another sound. Ah, here it is. This 808. What a sound. This is literally just a pitched up 808. If I bring that down a million octaves, you can just about hear it does that. So if I go back up to 20, I just was mucking around with it and I thought that's a wonderful sound. So the first thing I did, I thought I want to hear it with loads of reverb on. This is just a little plate from Sound Toys. Sound Toys, again, I use them a lot. And then noise gate to gate the reverb. Hear that's changing the reverb. So it's really weird how it's working. Just turn that off. Lovely, isn't it? And then we'll add some more saturation from the Magna tubes. Obviously, when you get a new plugin, you just want to use it all the time. But it adds that sort of valve crunch distortion quite well. It's not as perfect as, say, actually having an Altec preamp, but it is pretty good. It's pretty good. And then I have linear EQ, which is like my go-to, that's just to bring it out over the mix. You'll hear that. They're using Gem Mod, which was actually given away for free, just to give it some width. Which, oh my God, it's not turned on. Right, obviously didn't like it, so that's not being used. And then tape delay. The reason I use Logic's tape delay is simply because this low cut, high cut. It's so easy to use, it's so effective, and I just use it a lot. So it's adding a little bit of that. Really nice, really nice. I was really happy with that, actually. Let me carry on. So we'll put that back into context. Lovely. And look, we've got a roll here. So the roll actually starts with a little... Just going to turn the heating down. Give me a sec. Where are we? Carry on. So this is the roll actually includes... Lovely. And I've probably smashed that with all sorts of things. Yes, I have. Now, I use Smack Attack a lot. If you don't know what this does, it's a transient designer. Really clever, isn't it? So it's a way of envelope shaping once you've committed to a sound. I use that a lot. Anyway, here we go. Carry on now. Get rid of that. Go. Ah, yeah, system overload. This is the problem. Now, we're listening to a version of this mix. I had this problem because, you know, I just use so many processors, so many plugins. If we take a little quick peek at all my tracks, it's a little bit ridiculous. I mean, this ain't no Akai S1000 and an 8-track sequencer. This is like, I just use too many. I just use too many and too much sidechain, and it eventually shits itself. And so let's just cross our fingers and hope this will carry on. All right, so let's look at the vocal. Little trick here. Where is it? Where is it? Where's the vocal sample? So the vocal sample. It's the legato glide. So what's happening is, if you don't know how this trick is done, I've obviously got a loop tit somewhere. Here's my loop. Now, as that's looping, I can change. Oh, I haven't got the camera on, have I? But if I change key while holding down the other key, it'll just slide across. Rather than starting up again. So it doesn't do. If you do that, so if you go legato, if you choose legato, which is mode legato, if I go to poly, it'll just become a chord now. And mono, it won't do that. So you want legato, and that'll hold the loop over to the next note with a little bit of glide. I've got 160 if we change that. There we go. Lovely. Let's just compare that and put it back to what it was. I use that trick a lot. I absolutely love it. And another thing I've got is, just one more thing on here. It's the way the sample responds to pitch shift is it's time stretch. This is a time stretch thing. If I take that off, see the loop is slowing down, speeds up, whereas if you have the time stretch on, and I've probably got this, I've probably worked that out to be in time with the tune, and that's how I use that. What's next? So, it drops the drum and bass, and then which goes for 8 bars, then we're going for another 8 bars, but with a vocal coming in. So I've gone into a melody. So I've gone drop to drum and bass, bring in a vocal with the drum and bass, take out the vocal, bring in a melody. Let's carry on now. And then now I bring in the piano. So, shut up, system over. So the tune simplifies and the vocal comes back in. So the melodies come out and the vocal, something has to give way for something else to happen. We'll cross our fingers. I'm just going to very quickly check it, see if I've got any more processing power left. No. Oh, input. Can I change that? Will that do anything? Apply. Is that going to shit itself? We get to look at a spinning beach ball. It's quite nice. Doesn't matter how far into the future computers go, you will eventually look at things that take time. Overcompressed. Yes, it is. It's a sort of, that piano is, it's not a Korg 1. It's this a contact instrument, which is hybrid keys, which is obviously based around the Korg 1. But what they've done is they've given you more attack here. So you've got two sound sources, Scanner Bubbles and Studio Grand, which is taken. That's not a studio. Let's just play that and I'll show you. So you get that sound. So you get to choose how much bytes you have. Lovely. It's a really good sound. And yes, it is ridiculously compressed. I use this here just to really grab into it. This Empirical Labs My Key by Softtube. So a little bit goes a long way. Lovely. Lovely, 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 lovely. Anyway, let me carry on. So we've done, are they 8s? So that's 32 bars of all that coming in. And still hear you saying middle bridge. Intense. Daniel. I don't care about this. I mean, so I am, well, 2 things to discuss here. One, this isn't the final mix. What happened was, because of this constant overload to the processors, I just bounced everything in place and then went back to mix it. 2, so I hadn't used that vocal, and then now in the arrangement, so we've come, if I just zoom out a little bit, you can see what's going on. Here's your breakdown, which is quite massive, but it's a huge sort of anthemic, hands in the air type thing. That's what I was hoping to achieve. And then lots of 8s. Oh, that was weird. Lots of 8s, changing rapidly. Drum and bass with vocal. Vocal comes out to synthesizer, second synthesizer pattern with piano. Synthesizer comes out, vocal comes in to 8-bar kick drum bridge into second vocal. So there we go. Let's go try this bit here. Yeah, it's not going to work. I mean, the song's pretty much over. So that was the second vocal. You can see there's some programming here, and then the Mentasm comes back in. And I just want to see what happens at the end. This is the outro. Oh yeah, and I don't know if you hang on. I don't know if you know, I've mentioned this a few times, but I put an Easter egg into all my remixes, which is a little bit of a hyper-on tune put in there. I can't. Was that Can You Feel Thunder Grip? So in the track Hyper-on Experience track Thunder Grip. Oh, it says it here, Thunder Grip. It does something. Anyway, that's pretty much done. A little crash cymbal on the end, because why not? Right. What am I going to do? I'm going to stop. Oh no, I want to do one more thing. If you've made it this far into my video, well done you. Let me just sell myself if you don't know. So I am in the business of making music to order. I do remixes, I originate music, I help people produce music, and I teach. And I also run a recording studio. This is my recording studio. I do bands. I had a band in the other day. Really good session that was. This guy here came in and I helped him do put his tune together, his arrangement. I gave him arrangement ideas. This guy comes in all the time. I write him backing tracks in. Actually, he likes house, so I do house. So that's what I do. If you need lessons, if you need remixes, if you need help with your production, you can get in touch with me on every platform, but Facebook's pretty good, or just hunt me down and get in touch. There we go. I am finished and I'm going to stop and goodbye, and I'll carry on streaming in a second. 1 second.